Hug, bridging the racial divide. Learn more right after this.
My college offers classes to meet my educational and career goals.
With opportunities outside of the classroom,
where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits toward my bachelor's.
My college is a top military-friendly college.
My college is affordable.
It's close to home.
My college is a state college within the University System of Georgia.
It's where excellence begins.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome to Community Watch. Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this today.
How you doing, brother?
You don't ever give me a warning.
But we make it work.
Yes, I know. I think we're talking about an issue that's pretty important to us.
I would agree.
And has been for a while.
Well, we talk about this a lot.
We do talk about this. We talk about it. Really, that's why when we're out and about, we're usually by ourselves because people are sick of hearing it. But
we're very fortunate that we have each other. We can talk openly about these things because we don't always agree. But having someone that you can actually not afraid to express how you feel about things, I mean, it really helps to get a different perspective.
No one knows what we're talking about. You know?
Well, okay.
All right, so on the show today, we're going to be talking about an intentional effort in the community to try to create racial understanding, and something that has grown out of that intentional movement to an event that's coming up pretty soon that we want to talk about. So that's sort of briefly what we're talking about today.
Okay.
Is that all right? Is that all right?
Works for me.
Okay, all right. So when we come back after this break, we're going to be joined by our two guests who've been involved in this event, which is coming up in Rome, which involves some speakers, but they're really promoting this as an opportunity to bring a diverse group of individuals together, and they'll talk about it, of course. But it's an important event that you need to know about and possibly participate in. So stay with us. We'll be right back with our guests after this.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're very happy to have with us today Scott Fuller and Karika Culberson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Scott, so you are the recruitment coordinator for foster care at Murphy Harpst.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right.
I got that right. It's a long title.
It is. Yeah. Important job.
And Karika, you are, other than just being a man about town, you are a student leader at Georgia Highlands. You're president of Brother to Brother and an excellent student, just generally speaking.
I try my best.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if you really do.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if you really do.
Most of the time.
So I know we're talking about an event that's coming up on the 18th, is that right?
February 18th, Thursday evening.
But I'd kind of like to know what brought us to this? I mean, the event itself. I mean, what's
Wow.
behind it?
Personally, there's a little bit more of a backstory. I
Yeah.
don't want to take too much of that time, but
That's all
but
right.
I have
You go right ahead.
for about 25 years. I've been a pastor, church planter, and have just recently moved back to Rome. And over the last year, I have enjoyed not only being back in my hometown, but being able to spend some time with my father. And so my dad, Ken Fuller, and I, we've spent some time talking a bit about things we enjoy, things been going on, and things that burdened us. And the issue of a continuing, lingering racial divide has been something we've talked a good bit about. And then over the last year, just the events, tragic events in the news, it kind of, I think, stirred much of those burdens in conversation. And during that time, about a little over a year ago, there was a group formed called One Community United, whose desires were to foster an environment where conversation can take place, where neighbor can meet neighbor, and we can hope to overcome some of those barriers that are within our communities and really create a loving and respectful community that really appreciates the differences and values each other. And so One Community United is really engaged in that way to try to encourage and promote it in various ways. And so that's a little bit of a personal story.
No, I mean, that's good. The One Community United is something that, well, both of us have attended meetings for, and it's hard to say at this point where all of that is going to lead,
Right.
but just the opportunity for a group of people who might not otherwise come together at all,
Exactly.
to be in the same room together and have really just social conversations.
Right.
But you know, for me, because you know how I am, it has to go beyond. Like, for instance, I look at the King Day. We come together for the King Day events, and we hold hands, and we sing and march, and we listen to speakers. But then we return to our separate worlds. And I'm hoping, and you know, I can be somewhat pessimistic, but I'm hoping this will go beyond just coming into a room and just like, yeah, I'm here, but on a personal level, be able to create an environment we can truly say what we feel, not to be offensive, but to be honest and put it out there. Dr. William Parker, he came here years ago when I was a student, and he talked about this, how we want to usurp the pain. We just want to get around the pain and get to the other side. But racial issues is like a sword. We got to deal with that. And so I'm hoping with the people involved, I think some good-hearted people, some intellectual people that not just come in the room, but maybe we can get some honest dialogue. Because me and you, close as we are, we don't always agree about things, but we do it in a love, respectful manner that I can respect. Even though I don't agree with half the stuff you say, I still respect you.
Give me half. Give me half. Come on.
But we have that where we can agree to disagree without being venomous toward each other. So I'm hoping that, as you say, we'll foster that kind of environment. We can have true dialogue.
Right. Right. And I think there's we were talking just outside a bit ago about how there are a lot of things that people can be against. And this whole event that's coming up it is not a reaction against things. I mean, there are things that we don't want to see. It's really what we're for. We're valuing something we want to see more of. We're valuing other people, other people's ideas. You know, it's one thing we sometimes have something we want to say, a point we want to make. But how willing are we ready to listen and learn? And we're more willing to listen and learn if we value that other person, his experiences and pains. And I think creating a space within the community that's not church, that's not in a particular cultural group, where people come together and begin to dialogue, and that's beautiful.
It really is.
I want to encourage that.
So, Karika,
Yes, sir.
what brings you here?
Well,
How did you get involved in this?
well, it's also a personal type story, but I was introduced. I spoke at the MLK breakfast, and I was introduced to Mr. Fuller, his father, which is one of the founders of the Hugs organization. And it turns out he and my father used to be really close friends, and they had their differences, which, just so happened to be what we're fighting against right here, or fighting to prevent. And through that, his father and I were planning to work together, and I guess he sees this as a way of, giving back to my father, or, fixing tides that, needed to be fixed. And I just happened to be blessed with a new friendship, and it just so happened to be that we have the same cause, and we have the same goal, and that goal being, we don't want a racial divide anymore. We want to see a difference. We want to see people influenced by each other's ideas, other people's understandings, and like he said, understanding each other's pains and their struggles, and getting to know that person for who they are, and not by the stereotypes that they're believed to be.
Mr. Fuller, let me ask you as a pastor, because I don't know. We know it's been said that 12 o'clock Sunday is the most segregated hour in America. Now, I tend to believe that, but I don't know it to be true. But after all the progress, and no one can argue we haven't made progress, but why is it still, and maybe I'm just asking because you're a pastor, but is there a reason why the churches have sometimes, I guess, have been kind of slow to kind of foster that amongst each other?
Wow. Great question. There are places in their churches within this community and other communities where I think we're seeing advancement, as you pointed out. Why is it so slow? Why is the 11 o'clock hour still a more segregated hour in the week? I think there's something about the human spirit of complacency. We get accustomed to things. You mentioned earlier about going back to our places. And from an age of segregated community, you go back before emancipation, you go back, we've come up many years, hundreds of years where people are separated, segregated. And when we overcome that, there's still a cultural divide. And I think while we've made advances, it's just been easy for people to go back to their homes, go back to their communities, and not be intentional. And I think there's the lack of the intentionality in the church's effort is a part. It's not easy. We feel uncomfortable. It's foreign. It's strange. Some more difficult outreach and ministry. We got to be very vulnerable there, and I think we resist that to our own detriment. So I think it's just a lot of different reasons, perhaps, but I think something of our own human experience and spirit that stands in our way.
Actually, I know racism is alive and well, but I say sometimes I think it's more placism than racism. And we all are guilty of placism, because some of us, we could go other places, but we choose not to because it's more comfortable over here. So sometimes I think placism may be more dangerous than racism, because all of us can easily practice placism. So so I'm just excited about this opportunity that Rome is taking.
Right.
Well, I wonder if it's connected to the same tendency that people have to stay within their groups when sitting in a place, and whether it's in school or out of school. I don't know.
I think it could possibly well be, but I also think when it comes to racial issues, I just think we are uncomfortable with uncomfortable conversations, and we are afraid of offending people, so we say nothing. And I think it goes back to what you're talking about. When you have relationships, your words are not as painful because I understand who you are, and so I just think, getting relationships. We got to have relationships.
When you think about the just the wound, when you harm someone, you wound someone, the awkwardness of being reconciled, the difficulty, and we often put those things off. And I think that's kind of at play in this in large degree.
Oh, so much so.
Coming up on a break here. When we come back, lots more discussion and more details about the event coming up soon. So stay with us.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're having conversation with Scott Fuller and Karika Culberson about an event coming up really soon.
Very soon.
The 18th.
February 18th. 6:30.
So let's get the details out about what this event is and what y'all want to accomplish with the event. So what is it exactly? What's happening?
Well, what we will be doing is we'll be bringing together the community churches, and through that, what's understood for the most part is that on Sunday, most people pledge to be Christian, and with that, most everybody to reach out to them is through their church. On Sunday, that's where they go, that's where they spend their time. So what we're doing is using the churches and bringing them together in one spot so that we can have everybody there and engage in conversation, engage in company, get to know one another, understand each other as an individual so that it could spark maybe a different kind of mindset, a different kind of perception on what that person truly stands for as a human being. And as far as an overall goal of this, we want to be a reflection. We want our community to be a reflection of the change that we want to see in the world overall. So whenever somebody looks at Rome as the city on the 7 hills, we want them to see that they made a change. We can make this change too, and not to say it won't go worldwide. Who knows? But just hope for the best.
All right. So the event on the 18th, where is it?
It's going to be held at the Wilder Center at First United Methodist Church.
Okay.
Which is the building kind of in the back side of the church there,
right.
The Wilder Center, at 6:30. We've got 2 dynamic speakers coming. One, Dr. Otis Pickett, is professor at Mississippi College, and Justin Jones Fasu, who is a motivational speaker, very well-known motivational speaker, speaking in both corporate business contexts about diversity within the job place, respect in those environments, also on college university campuses. These 2 guys are really amazing men that have been brought together and through various places. But Dr. Pickett comes from Charleston. He's a white Southerner who grew up in Charleston, whose family was a member of a black church. His grandfather served as a physician to the Gullah people in the Low Country. He grew up in that kind of context. And Justin Jones Fasu grew up in the North as a black man, and I believe he was fostered by a white family. And both of their experiences challenged some of their assumptions, and their experiences have come together. They've become best friends. They've learned so much. They've had this dialogue together that we're talking about in a safe environment. And they are well positioned to speak to community groups to help encourage and promote it within different campuses and communities. So they have been willing to come and serve Floyd County, and so we're really excited about them being here. And so we're going to bring together. We're hoping to bring together not just church groups around Floyd County, but to bring together various communities, businesses, people from different faith groups, organizations.
I was about to ask that question because I know Hearts United and all this kind of religious base, but I'm assuming if we're talking about diversity, we're meaning even non-Christians. We're meaning everybody
Exactly.
come to the table.
Exactly. I mean, these young men are both Christians, but they're not. But they're serving a broad. They realize they're serving a broader community. There will be Christians who will be there. There will be those who aren't Christians there. We recognize that our community in Floyd County is made up of a lot of people, and those differences we need to value, and we all need to have that open dialogue. And I think these men are really gifted from their common experiences to help speak to us and help us begin to listen and learn together and motivate us. And so, yeah, we want to broaden it beyond any one particular group. So it's multi-political, multi-racial, ecclesiastical, so to speak.
But Hugs, Hearts United Gathering, I mean, it really kind of encompasses everybody.
It does.
With that really, and because I just think, and I applaud the effort because I'm not aware of any other group who have really put it out there like this. So let's have some true dialogue about some of these things and it goes back to what you said. We have to challenge ourselves because it's so easy for us to point at other people, but what are our own personal beliefs? What are our own personal biases? And so I look forward to it. I know we do.
Oh yeah,
we have these conversations about every day.
One thing I'll say
every day
that the speakers have made very clear, kind of setting up the event. They're not only going to be speaking to us, right? They have a wonderful, seminar that they present, but they really want to have question and answer. So they've requested that there be time after the presentation to receive questions from the audience, so that they can answer those questions. They value the dialogue and they want to model the dialogue. And I think that's a really exciting part of it as well.
Yeah. And I, the purpose is hopefully that whatever happens on the 18th in terms of dialogue is something that's continued outside the event. Into the community and into the weeks and months thereafter.
Exactly. Well, I know one Community United, which is made up of different folks within this community, different races, different church backgrounds, some people from non-Christian backgrounds, want to continue to foster this environment. And so this is just a beginning event, in some ways, public event, to kind of initiate the dialogue. But
let's put this out here too. I know we're supposed to be having people who are coming here and later in April or whatever, but this has been going on for well over a year. I want the public to know this is just not a reaction to something. That this event that is coming has really been in the works for well over a year now.
Right.
That One Heart United has been working behind the scenes to gather the momentum to do things like this. So this ain't something that just happened because something else happened. This is something that's been actually been going on in the process.
Right. I appreciate you saying that because there have been some some headlines in Rome that might leave someone to think differently. But yeah, this has been very purposeful, not reactionary, but very proactive, and we're very thankful for that. Very encouraged.
I want to ask Karika, and I don't know, this is something we hadn't talked about before, but I know you attended one Community United events that was a cookout at your father's house. When was that? Was in the fall?
That was back in the fall.
That was in the fall. We have talked, in fact, it's come up several times during the monthly, their monthly meetings, and smaller groups have been meeting more often, that a lot of the folks, the majority of the folks who are participating to this point in One Community United are not young people, largely. I mean,
We're not getting any younger.
Yeah. And how much we would like to get more participation from college students, college-age students, and young people, younger people, because they need to be part of the discussion. Mm-hmm. So, Karika, you are now officially in the room. Why do you think it's so hard for us to get younger people into this discussion?
I believe that's a question that's attached to another question, which is, why don't kids want to be informed on what it is that's going on? Because, I talk to a lot of people trying to promote this event that's about to go on, and a lot of them don't even know about, the headlines in the papers, or they don't know about the issues that's going on in the community, because, it doesn't benefit them. So what we're looking for as kids, I feel like, we've been pampered for so long, and as we're stepping outside of that age group of being a kid and being an adult, we find it hard to actually, where we fit in, where is our input important, So I feel like in order to reach out to the teens, we have to do something that lets them know, like, look, you're a part of this. We need you in this right here, because if not you, then who? So I feel...
And the discussion certainly is going to affect all ages in the community, positively, I hope. We're coming up on a break here. When we come back, we'll give you more the particulars of the event coming up, so you won't be curious about that. So come back. We'll give that to you in a minute here.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals,
with opportunities outside the classroom,
where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career. I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits toward my bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the University System of Georgia.
My college is affordable.
It's close to home.
My college has online opportunities.
It's where excellence begins.
We are
GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been having a conversation with Scott Fuller and Karika Culberson about an event coming up on February the 18th, Hearts United Gathering, Bridging the Racial Divide, with two dynamic speakers. This is a free event, 6:30, February 18th. It's was that a Thursday?
It's a Thursday night. All you can eat pizza and drinks.
Oh,
as many we can. For 500 people.
First United Methodist Church at the Wilder Center, which is kind of around the side and the back of the church. Please be there. This is an important, positive event for the community. We need to be a part of a positive movement. See you there. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time on Community Watch.